Hey guys, welcome back to another Destiny 2 rant. I guess you could that's what you could call them. I'm not going to be talking about the recent news that Bungie released about the faction rallies. I'll get to that on Wednesday, but I'm going to be telling you why faction rallies suck overall. First of all, I do like the concept of faction rallies. A week that Guardians can pick their favorite faction and try to win against other Guardians, that's cool. But what is not cool is the fact that it's our only interaction with the factions. Now here's why they suck. They are too short. Coming from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, it was obvious that the lack of factions in the tower was definitely a bummer for me, because I liked getting behind one of the factions to maybe help the endgame go a little bit smoother for me. But lucky us, we were graced with the once a month for 1 week only interactions. This is bad because the people playing this game still played at least 2 years of Destiny 1. And we had factions since the very beginning. We remember back to the time when it was a pain in the ass to grind for Crucible and Vanguard tokens. We remember having to physically wear the faction armor to increase our reputation. We remember finally getting to rank 25 in the closing year for Destiny 1 to get that exotic cloak marker bond. We went from 3 years of pledging our allegiance to a faction, or all of them, depending on how hard you grinded, to having to pick one faction once a month for 1 week to earn loot the exact same way you were earning loot before, but this time you were granted with faction tokens. And for that 1 week only could you earn the faction tokens to then get loot that was reskinned, not even new loot, reskinned loot that gives you no added benefits or perks other than it having the color of your faction and the scheme and logos of your faction. It's just too short. This year, I haven't even played really during this faction rally, this most recent one, because it no longer interests me, because I know that tomorrow, or the reset date, Tuesday, I will be told that a gun is available because one of the factions won, and I'm gonna get to go buy that with however much glimmer. If I somehow pick the right faction, then I get to go get it for a very small amount, but if I don't, then I just get it for 50,000, which is very easily attainable because these are once a week. These are once a month. I can get that much. I can get 50,000 glimmer in a week, like easy, with how much I play the Crucible. It's too short for me to get into, and I may have homework that week, or be writing a paper, and playing is down because of that, and making getting the gear set or the weapons difficult because I have 7 days to do it, and if I'm doing other things, it's much more difficult to do it. It no longer feels personal to me, which is my next point. Remember back in Destiny 1, or if you haven't played Destiny 1, just try to imagine. Remember the first day you got to level 20? You played the story that really didn't make any sense, but you kept going because this game was something new to everyone. You finally went back to the tower, but before you went, you were promoted with a screen that told you all about the factions. Dead Orbit, Future Warcult, and New Monarchy wanted you to fight for them and be their champion. So, now you had a choice. Each of the factions seemed good, the loot looked good from what you could see, but you only have enough glimmer to buy one of their cloaks. You finally decide on Dead Orbit. You head over to the vendor, you take a deep breath, and you purchase the cloak. You put it on and feel like a brand new Guardian, a Guardian with a new purpose. You then enter the Crucible, cloak equipped, and start going to town. Team deathmatch, rumble, domination. It didn't matter. You were slaying other Guardians with a newfound purpose and gaining experience for your faction. You were doing all the bounties you could get your hands on. The Nightfall, which you just unlocked with the new gear you just got from Dead Orbit. You finally get all the gear and new weapons and can't help but walk around the tower and feel like a badass. You feel accomplished so much that you head into any activity with a confidence level of 1,000 because you look good. Every time you're in a loading screen, you show off your ship that you just got. Do you see what I mean, people? This whole story I went into wasn't mine because I picked Future Warcult and stuck with them for 3 years with my main character. But I stuck with them for 3 years, and this story is someone who probably stuck with Dead Orbit for at least a year. I stuck with Future Warcult for 3 years. Through all the new DLC that offered new looking armor and weapons to use, through the tokens changing to legendary marks, through the controversy that was the DLC supposed to being in the game in the first place, I stuck with Future Warcult because I was their champion. I went into every Crucible match hoping I was high enough level to hold the flag in front so everyone could see my decked out armor. The one thing I enjoyed the most from Destiny 1, besides Sparrow Racing, was the factions. Being part of a group that got their own loot and reward system was unique. It felt personal. I no longer feel that with these rallies, because how can I? I have a week to get all the gear, all the weapons, so I can represent them for what? Next week it isn't going to matter because these fools won't give a crap about me because we're no longer competing with other factions. It's dumb. It is no longer fun to play for a faction. It just isn't. And the fact who I know is going to win before they even do is horrible. Which goes into my next point. Lots of people, and I'm not saying everyone, but lots of people playing the game are going to pick the faction with the best gun that is awarded at the end of the week. Trust me, it's not science to figure it out. Destiny 2 makes you visit every faction before you can choose which one you want. And when you visit them, you have a chance to look at their loot and see the big prize for their faction winning. I know I do. I look at all the armor to see which one looks cooler on my character and all that stuff. I look at the guns to see what kind of cool guns they got. I look at the perks to see how they are. You know, I'm kind of that, you know. I kind of pick the best one regarding that, and then that's how I choose them. But some people choose them for the big prize. I mean, when people are looking for only the big prize and they're not even looking for trying to be personal with the faction, that's not what factions are about. It's no longer personal, so people are just picking a faction for the weapon they want in the end. There's no longer a feeling of belonging because it's gone way too fast. It has turned into the best prize wins, and it's sad. It really is. Sad. The ideal faction type of stuff for me would be to have the factions there all the time and to let us earn loot that way, but once a month have this big prize that isn't in the loot tables like the weapons they have right now, and have us compete to see which faction is bigger and better. It would make it a lot more fun and interesting, in my opinion. That's all I have for today, so thank you so much for watching the video this far. I appreciate it a lot. And if you liked the video, hit the like button. Also, if you don't agree with some of my points, that's fair, because you're your own human being that's entitled to opinions. If you have other suggestions for faction stuff, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'd like to read it. And if you're new and you haven't subbed yet, guess what you're missing? A theoretical subscriber party. Yeah, us subscribers are having a great time over here in the corner, drinking invisible drinks, partying to invisible lights and music. Yeah. If you want to join the party, just hit the sub button, and then maybe you could join the corner party. Just saying. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.